Thick dirt walls don't necessarily have a high insulative R value, but they do have thermal efficiency and a thermal mass transfer.
For example, our solar shed office uses 16-inch Hyper Adobe earth bags. It has a traditional insulated roof to catch rainwater and an earthen floor. We also have a mini split AC and heat pump. With all these things combined, the mini split is incredibly efficient because once it brings that building to temperature, the thermal efficiency holds the temperature for long periods of time.
Thermal mass transfer is the most interesting thing about earth bag walls. When the sun warms the wall, it gets absorbed and slowly passes through to the inside. For our 16-inch walls, we found this takes about 12 hours.
In our climate, we found the best way to use thermal mass transfer to our advantage is to build our longest wall facing south so that in the winter, when the sun is low, it will hit that wall all day and release that warmth into the building overnight.
This allows us to kick our covers off about 2 a.m. every night. In the summer, a traditional roof provides shade over as much of the walls as possible to help keep it cool until the very end of the day when the sun is low and blasting that western wall.
All that to say, with proper insulation in your floor and your ceiling, earthbag walls can be very thermally efficient just using native soil.
Earthback buildings, especially the domes with barbed wire, are resistant to earthquakes. And with the earthen plasters on the outside, they're also inherently fire resistant.
And probably the biggest reason to consider earthbag building is just that anybody can do it. Our whole family pitches in every time. We don't need any fancy expensive tools, and the cost of materials to build a wall are insanely low.
We get to spend time together building things outside with our own hands. This is a very therapeutic way of building.
It is, however, a ton of work.
So much work.
It is not for the faint of heart or the weak of body. But we have witnessed people of all ages rolling up their sleeves, getting their hands dirty, and finding whatever job they could do to pitch in.
Earthbag building is truly affordable and accessible by nearly everyone.
So for those of you who are like, all right, I'm in, what do I got to do? How does this work? We're going to get into it.
Before we learn how to build with earthbags, let's look at a few core concepts.
Think of the process like a huge 3D printer, and you're the printer, laying each course and building the walls layer by layer. Digging a trench where your walls go is an important first step. Not only will it allow you to create options for drainage, water, and rodent barriers, but it creates a toehold for your walls to lock into the earth and stabilize.
We'll take you through the full foundation setup here in just a few minutes, but first let's talk about shapes, buttressing, and interlocking.
The first thing to keep in mind is that circular walls are inherently stronger than straight walls. You can create large diameter vertical walls without any additional support because gravity will pull the wall in, but it's stabilized against itself because of the shape.
Straight walls are definitely doable, but this means you need to buttress every 10 to 12 feet. A buttress is a small perpendicular wall at least 3 to 4 feet that locks into the foundation and interlocks all the way up with your vertical wall.
Buttresses should also be around door openings whenever possible to help support that large hole. And if you're smart about your design, a buttress doesn't always have to go to the outside. It could be an interior wall.
Wherever you have a buttress or even just a wall that intersects with another wall, you need to do interlocking layers.